not maintained. Okay. Heterogeneous key and heterogeneous
Hello
value are
everyone.
allowed.
Good morning.
तो आप की में भी लिख सकते हो stable की
Am I audible?
कुछ भी लिख सकते हो. Okay. Not homogeneous. Right. And null key and
Hello,
not
hi,
values
Hasina.
are non-linear. आप null नहीं लिख सकते values और key में दोनों में आप null नहीं लिख सकते.
So hi everyone, my name is Nand. I am from Staffing Professor.
Duplicate values
I will
are
be
allowed.
responsible for your mentoring and supporting in this technical stuffs and things regarding the projects, explanation, the resume, and the interview support, assessments, each and everything from scratch to the end, right? You all guys have to just keep 1 hour on daily basis for this training. Understand? Panjanya, Hasina, Vamsi. Okay. So Vamsi and Hasina already have joined. Hasina is like older, right? So Panjana, you are a new one here in this session. So we will start again the things from the basic. Got it? Just before that, I just want to ask you just brief introduction about all of you, just people. Yeah, Panjana, you can start.
Nothing else is there. Okay, nothing different is also there.
Okay. How much you are comfortable in the Python SQL? Okay. Do you have any kind of a prior domain knowledge over the data analytics or data science something? Okay. Yeah. No worries. Okay. Yeah, Hasina. Yeah. Please let me know about yourself, your background skills. Hello, I'm audible, Hasina. Hello. Yeah. Start.
सभी मेथड करना नहीं देख के करना है आपको. इटरेटिव देख के करो पर कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं करना. एक बार ट्राई करो. पहले उससे पहले आपको क्या करना है, उसका वो करना है, हेडसेट वाला करना है ना आपको.
Do you have any kind of a prior coding knowledge?
Interset
Okay.
करना है, key set करना
Yeah,
है.
no problem. Yeah, Vamsi, tell me. Okay, so I just want to make sure one thing just before starting this session. I just want to let you know each and everything about the domain knowledge. That is what domain over the data analytics, right? What exactly is the data analytics, right? When a company hires, let's suppose, if a company is going to hire you as a data analyst, what kind of a roles and responsibility you have to serve there, right? What company exactly is going to demand from a data analytics? See, the data analytics a kind of a profile where you have to deal with somewhere of a non-IT and somewhere of a IT team as well. There will be a client, there will be stakeholders, right? Totally non-IT guys, right? You have to understand your insight, trends, pattern, all analysis and all reviews of your work sample to a person who even don't know the code basic, right? So it depends a person how much a person is mature. What is the meaning of like mature here? You can collaborate with a different team easily without being frustrated. You can handle the frustrated situation. You can handle the tensions of the like different projects, right? You can handle the tight deadlines. These types of a thing. Okay. Now coming to the domain in the data analytics. What is the meaning of data analytics? What can you tell anyone? want to just describe what is the meaning of like exactly data analytics, if you it like scraping in your minds, and you can just start it. Anyone? No idea? Vamsi? Okay, Hasina?
एचएस आपने 2 बार लिख दिया.
No idea?
एचएस
Okay, yeah, no fine. No worries. See, the roles and the responsibilities of a data analytics involves the gathering of a data first. Just take one step before again. Understand. Yeah. I'm giving you the explanation this way. The first step, just do you guys have a notepad, the proper notepad, pen and paper? Yes. I'm just explaining you the step. The step number 1. Understand the problem statement. When I will give you the project, you have to follow the same pattern, right? First thing is that understand the problem statement. There will be the end-to-end meeting with the clients and the stakeholders. They will let you know what kind of a company, what kind of a challenges is company is facing right now, and what is the motive to hire you in the company. So first responsibility is to understand the problem statement, right?
आपको ये लिखना है. आपको देखो क्या लिखा लाइन में.
Gathering the data. Fine.
HS dot iterator लिखा है.
Gathering the data. Now you can say it the data collection. See, talking about the data collection, there is a different way how we can collect the data from different sources. Vamsi, I think Hasina and Vamsi, I think I has already explained you these things, right? What are the different way? Can you explain that? The different way to get the data extract. Okay, we can take for the first, note it down, the first step. We can take the data from API calling. Yeah, second step, web scraping. Scrape the data from dynamic and static websites. Yeah, third steps, directly we can get the data from its database corner. Fourth, no, the fourth step, we can do some market analysis. No, I'm not talking about market analysis. Market researcher, there is a one kind of a new profile has been created in past 2 or 3 years. Market research analyst. What market research analysts do actually? Let's suppose Amazon. What kind of a company is Amazon? E-commerce. Flipkart is also e-commerce. Shopsy is also e-commerce. Myntra is also e-commerce, right? So Myntra, Shopsy, Flipkart, all are the competitors of Amazon. They are competing with the Amazon, or we can say Amazon, Shopsy, Myntra, all these three are competing with the Flipkart. They all are competing with each other. So what market research analysts do in a company, he will research over the different parameter where we can get, over which parameter we can get the competition. What we have to include the new one so that no one has such kind of services except us, right? So they can collect the data from researching these things. So fourth step, market research analysis.
Got it.
Hasina, you are writing.
Try or write your linear swap example by yourself.
Okay, fine.
Okay, that's all for today.
I'm requesting you to please like keep all like mute. Whenever you have to talk it, then you can unmute yourself, right? The first step was calling the data from API calling. API. Second step, data scraping, known as a web scraping. This is again the Python concept. We will use the beautiful soup library, scrapey library, right, to scrape the data. Got it? Third step, what we get the third step? Direct access of the database corner. Client has directly given you, okay, this you want the data, this is my database, and I am giving you to your manager that I am my database access. You can access the all entire raw data into your system, right? The fourth step, market research analysis. So this is what the second step. The first is what? Problem, understand the problem statement. Second step is what? Data gathering or data collection. In data collection, there is a 4 points how we can collect the data. But this is not only, like till now we have only covered the 4 points to collect data. There are variety of methods to collect the data. Majorly we have to working on these 4 things in a company, right? Talking about the third steps, we have to perform the EDA. Write it down. EDA, exploratory data analysis. The third step would be the EDA, exploratory data analysis. Now what is exploratory data analysis? We have to convert that raw data into some transformable format, either a table format, CSV format, or Excel format, in a proper structured format, so that data can be ready and we can use it for the further analysis process. Is it clear, Hasina? Right? Fine. In EDA, we have to find out the null values, we have to find out the missing values, we have to find out the duplicacies, we have to find out the errors, we have to find out the data formats. All we have to fix in EDA. All we have to fix in the EDA. Once the raw data is going to transform into a particular structured format data, this can be done under the EDA. So the third step to performing the EDA, exploratory data analysis. Fourth step, data visualization techniques. We have to perform data visualization techniques, in which we have to find out hidden trends and the patterns of the data. Now, what is the meaning of the hidden trends and the patterns of the data? Yeah, Hasina, tell me. What is the meaning of hidden trends and patterns of the data? I think you all guys have covered up the basic mathematics, right? So there is an integration, differentiation, stats, normal distribution, binomial, I think, right, Vamsi, Panchajanya, right? So whenever you have an equation y equals to mx plus c, can you just correlate the relationship of y to the x? No. Without being charted over a graph, right? Once you have a proper graph, that data you can plot in the graph. That graph will show exact relationship between the y and x, the relationship between the dependent and the independent variable. Either is it like straightforward slope, down slope, u-curve slope, e to the power minus x kind of a slope, what kind of a curve this is, right? So whenever we are just we have to just find out any kind of a relationship or any kind of a like correlation of something, we need to have plot that data. We need to have plot that particular data over the chart, over the bar graph, over the different hist plot, like different plots and graph is there, right? Got it. So fourth step is what? We have to do the data visualization techniques. Here we will find out the hidden trends and the patterns of the data. Is it clear? Fine. Step 5. We will perform hypothesis testing. Not hypothesis testing, we will perform testing and analysis. Write down only testing and analysis. So the testing and analysis cover up the hypothesis testing, ANOVA testing, chi-square testing, t-test, all different tests. Like basically the three tests: ANOVA testing, hypothesis testing, and the chi-square test. Right. Now, why we are going to perform the hypothesis testing? Already we have seen above. If we just find out the relationship between the two data column, we have the visualization techniques. So why we are going into the hypothesis testing? The question is why testing is required in analysis. So testing is required in the analysis to ensure whether your analysis is going correctly or not. Only forecasting and reporting over the different visualization method is not called as an analysis. We have to perform a testing. Testing ensure your analysis is going correctly. Likewise that when a software build the applications, right, he tests their application whether if there are any kind of a bugs or not. If there are any kind of a bugs, he will fix it, right? So testing always ensure you are going in the right way or not. How many steps we have covered? 5. Note down the 6th step. We have to address the model building. Somewhere we have to move into the data science field, like the basic knowledge over the machine learning, different models. What you have to gather the data, what you have to gather the trends, pattern, and the insights of a data. What models of a machine learning you will recommend to the data scientist team, right? So for there you have to try out at least 2 to 3, 4 models, different models, whether your data, your past data is correctly working on that model, or your model is performing well on that data or not. You have to ensure this. Well, this is a kind of a job of a data scientist, not yours, but somewhere companies demanding the knowledge of deep learning, machine learning as well in data analyst. So as a data analyst, if you are like thinking knowledge of Python, SQL, Excel, data analysis, hypothesis testing, and Power BI is enough, that's not actually. You have to ready for the model building as well, right? Step 6. 7. Step 7. Monitoring and maintaining. So what is the meaning of monitoring and maintaining? The data you are calling from anywhere, it will be uploaded in not the local system but over the cloud. Why companies is using cloud, not the local storage? Any answer? Why companies using the cloud like AWS? The vast resource capacity, yeah, fine. Second one, data privacy. Fine. Different services. Good. We have to upload that data over the cloud. So what is the meaning of monitoring and the maintenance? Whenever the new data will come, because you have, let's suppose you have figure out only the static data, right? So analysis, what you have done, the insight and trends pattern that you have got from the data will also be static. But I want a kind of a data that is what? Dynamic. What is the meaning of the static data and the dynamic data? Hasina? What is the difference between the static data and the dynamic data? Any idea? Panchajanya? See, you all guys have seen the container, right? If a container is fixed, if you want to add up something, let's suppose if you want to add up of water in that container, got it? If you want to add up a water in that container, so that water will add up in that container as per the volume of that container, right? So the water in that container is have a static volume. What? Static volume. But let's suppose you drilled a hole in that container. Now you are again refilling the water. Now water is coming from one side and you are dropping the water also. So this is what? Dynamic. Right? This is what? Dynamic things. Hello? Hello? I'm audible? Sorry, I had this by mistake muted. Okay, so what we were talking about? Cloud. So we have to put the data over the cloud. Why? It's secure for a data privacy, have a vast storage. Have a vast storage as well. We can perform the different services as well. We can do analysis, forecasting, each and everything over the cloud itself. Right? We can perform each and everything over the cloud itself. Right? Okay, talking about monitoring and maintaining. What is the meaning of dynamic data and what is the meaning of static data? Differences between the dynamic data and the static data. Yeah, exactly, good. Static data is fixed. Dynamic data is going to change every moment. Right? Let's suppose Amazon e-commerce site. Every second like a billions of users reaching over the Amazon site. Right? Data is changing. There is a new moment is generating. Clicking, shopping, add to cart, billing, payment, all these moments is generating, right? All these events is generating every moment. So data from, if you want to scrape the data from AWS website, that is what Amazon e-commerce website, so that data will be the dynamic. Okay, fine. But if you want data that's static, what is the meaning of the static data? So you would have a proper CSV format structured data. So you are only loading, you are only uploading the CSV file, you are only uploading the text file, you are only uploading the JSON format file, and you are only uploading the Excel file. So data is what? Static. But we want actually the dynamic kind of a data, where data is changing every moment, right? Because in real time in companies, the data will be very big, volume will be very high. You cannot even analyze or call up the data in your local server for the local system. That's why company majorly uses the cloud, either AWS, GCP, Microsoft Azure, or like different cloud storage systems there. It depends upon the companies, right, what they are going to use. But in the demand, AWS and GCP is there. Fine, got it. So you have to maintain and monitor that data as well. You have to make a automation using the Python automation for a ETL pipeline. Making ETL pipeline, what is the meaning of ETL pipeline? There is a two concept. Note it down. ETL and ELT. ETL and ELT. Now what is the meaning of ETL? Extract, transform and load. You have a data. You have extract the data, then you have transform the data. What is the meaning of transform? Raw data into the structured format data, and then you have load that data in some environment. Let's suppose the SQL, it may be the Python, PyCharm, Google Colab, Jupyter, right? It may be the over the cloud as well. So this is what extract, transform, load. ENT, extract. We have to extract the data, then we have to load the data. We have to first load that raw data in the environment. After loading that raw data, then we will do the transformation, then apply the transformation process. So ELT, the same process is done over the AWS as well, using the AWS View Services. These basic things of a domain knowledge is very important, because I provide support on a daily basis for a data analytics as well. Not even the data analytics, data engineer, data science, business analyst, even the financial analyst. So recruiter, whenever you have an interview schedule, so recruiter starting of the 5 to 10 minutes or ending of the 5 to 10 minutes, just wanted to know from you what kind of a domain knowledge you have actually. Let's suppose you have applied for the finance domain, so he will ask some basic questions from finance, right? You are from healthcare, so he will ask the basic question from healthcare as well. What kind of a healthcare data, where you have gathered the data, what were the different processes to gather the data, where you have stored the data, what was the size of the data, right? What challenges you have exactly faced there. Again, I'm saying the theoretical part you guys are like covering, but you have to make sure very understand this is very in deep, because in a data analytics 50% the technical effort will be there and the 50% behavioral and challenging skill will be there. Whatever you guys project are making by your own, it's up to you, right? Make sure try to learn of the challenging questions as well. What is the meaning of like challenging questions? Where you are stucking, what approach you are following, star method, resolving your solution using the star method, right? These things we will discuss it later. No, not now, but I'm just making sure what guys you have actually doing. Just make sure the theoretical concept is ready in this domain. Is it clear? Panchajanya, Vamsi, Hasina, right? So is it clear the data analytics domain knowledge, what exactly a data analyst do in a company? Okay, let's suppose you guys are working in a finance domain company, right? So the finance domain, they want to set up a kind of a ML model, a kind of a application, web application, where he can predict the stock of some like a particular like company after 3 months or quarter, or like even after 2 or 3 years, right? It depends upon the company, right? Then apply the same process from scratch. So this is what a biggest challenge. What is the biggest challenge? They cannot predict the stocks of a company, the price of a stocks after the 1 month, how it would be, how it's changing. Even the data is there, historical data they are recording. If you guys have I don't know you guys are doing the trading or not. If you guys are doing the trading, so there will be a graph, right? They're like moving upward, climbward, and there will be the central margin. After the central margin, they predict the market for today it will be up, or the market for today will be down, right? So data is again changing. This is what kind of a dynamic data, right? That is what changing every moment. Billion and millions of people are using that site live, right? The site is what live. Got it? So the past data is there. Now using all these 7 steps, problem statement. So what is the problem statement here? I have already explained you. What is the problem statement here? To correctly predict the stock, the price of a particular stock, right? Can a person 100% predict that the market will be this, or the future price of this stock will be this? No one can. What we have to do? We have to predict the approx. What is the meaning of approx? our model can answer accurately 80 to 90%. More than a 90%, it's good for us, but 100% it's an ideal case. No model can predict or like classify 100%, right? It's an ideal case. It maximum goes up to 795, 97, up to like till 98, right? But not exactly the 100%. So saying that we can accurately predict the same future value, it's wrong. We can predict approximately. Okay, start with gathering the data. How will we gather the data? So there will be the end-to-end client. The company that you have hired as a contract or the full-time basis, right? There is a client. Let's suppose the client name is XYZ. Now that XYZ is need that model services from you. Now the company, the finance domain is going to hire you as a contract basis. He will provide the services to the company XYZ, client to the client XYZ, on the basis of you, what you are doing, right? Is it clear? Okay, extracting the data. How we can extract the data? Again, either the client will give you the API. So you can use my API key. This is what the API key. You can collect the data from that websites, right? That's not an issue. Second thing, client directly has given you the database access. You can take my data, all past historical data of trends and the patterns of the finance data that we have, and you can directly use that. We'll give you the database access, right? Third step, you have to perform the web scraping over that trading. That is what I'm talking about, the trading, right? So there will be data, but you don't need to scrape the data from that trading site. The client will give you that site, and you have to scrape that data from that particular site. It may be either a 2, 3, 4 site. It may be either like 5 to 10 site. It depends upon the kind of a project. It depends upon like clients, right? That can be a scenario. Okay, we have just finished the one step, right? Gathering the data. The second step, we have to perform the EDA. We have to perform the EDA. Okay, right now I'm not using example of the cloud or something. I'm using the local server. Now I have the PyCharm, the Python environment. I just want to extract that data and load into my Python environment. So what we will do, either we can store that scraped data into the CSV file, and that CSV file I can use in my Google Colab, Jupyter, or PyCharm, Spider, whatever you guys are using, right? In the VS Code as well, right? Got it? We can directly use it. Fine. We can load it. We have just covered the problem statement, step 1. We have just covered with the data extraction, step 2, gathering data. Now moving into step 3, EDA, performing the exploratory data analysis. So first we have to extract the data and then load the data, and then we will transform it. So generally what we will do, we will do the ELT, not ETL, ELT. Extract, load, and then transform. We will find out the missing values, the null values. Do you know what is the meaning of null values? There is nothing. Instead of like ABC, there is a null, right? Missing values, something is like missing space, something like missing. Duplicate. What is the meaning of duplicate? Duplicate entry, or like let's suppose there is a row number X, the same data has been repeated into the row number Y as well. Same duplicate entry. So this is known as the duplicate rows. So we have to take it. There is, let's suppose, a date column. So date column is not properly formatted, MMDDYY, instead of there is like YYDDMM. Then we have to change it, right? With this, there is a kind of a column with a string. There is a like special character. So for our analysis, we have to remove all kinds of a special character. We have only performed with the date formats, string formats, teaser formats, boolean formats, and the float formats. These all are five data types of a format that we have to exactly perform. Repeated what? Date formats, integer format, float format, string string format and the bool format. If you have any kind of a special character, what is the meaning of special character? Let's suppose hash, ampersand, percent, @ right? So we have to remove this. Removing this is known as a cleaning the data. What? Cleaning the data. And we known as, actually in the term of machine learning, known as a pre-processing. Note it down, the pre-processing, right? Cleaning data is what? Pre-processing. Okay, so we have just covered what step? Step 4, I think. EDA. What is the next step? Okay, data visualization. So we have a past historical data, we have to perform the visualization. Motto of the visualization, why we are doing the data visualization? To understand the hidden trends and the patterns. What, let's suppose you have a data, there is like data column 1, data column 2, data column 3. So what is the relation between the data column 1 and 2? What is the relation between the data column 3 and 4? Is data in your finance, overall the finance data, where the data is changing, from where the data is changing, where the data is up, downwards and the upwards, that we have to understand via the visualization techniques. Once we just get this insight and trends and the pattern using the data visualization, the next step would be testing and analysis. Testing and analysis. We have to perform the testing and analysis. We have to perform the hypothesis test. So hypothesis test majorly work over the single mean value. ANOVA test majorly work on the different mean value, more than 2 mean value. We have a mean group of 2 or 3, right? Then we have to perform the forecasting and reporting. We will use the different forecasting model as well. Exponential smoothing model, qualitative model, Delphi model, time series analysis model. We will cover up each and everything when we will do the live reporting and the forecasting, such kind of a thing. We will do this thing, right? We have just covered this step. What is the next step? Model building. Okay, this is the exact problem we have to face it here. Model building. Again, let's suppose your analysis, your visualization is coming properly, but we are transferring that data into the model. Model is not performing accurate. Again, is going to be very much headache for you guys. Why? Because we have to prepare a model that can predict a future values approximately having accurate percentage of what? 80 to 90%. Then what we can do? We have to divide that data in two forms, splitting that data into training and testing to the model. What is the meaning of training and testing? Training, the data over which the model will train, the model will learn something. Now whenever it's term to test, we will use the testing data. Are you guys getting it? Let's suppose the data that you have gathered, the finance data from that client database access, right? 80% data we have to use for training purpose. 80% of a data we have to use for a training purpose. Why this is? More data you will train for a model, more model you will learn it, and more it will give you the accurate result. Is this? No, this is no. There is a different scenarios in the machine learning. We have to pick up the data with a balanced data set. What is the meaning of the balanced data set? See, there is a 3 terms in a machine learning. The first thing is underfitting, second thing is overfitting, and third thing is balanced fitting. What is the meaning of underfitting? Data values are very less, data chunks are very less, model are not even trained like within the 60 to 70% accurate result. Overfitting. Trained size of a data is too much. Let's suppose we have fitted the data 95% to the training data and 5% to the testing data. So it is like more like over data. We have fitted over data for the training, right? Again, it will give you the error. Balanced data. Split the data in such a ratio such that neither it will be give you the underfitting error, overfitting error, or nor the overfitting error. 80 to 20. Generally we use 80-20 ratio, but you can use 70-30 ratio as well. You can use 75 or 25 ratio as well. But note it down, generally we use 80-20 ratio. 80% of the data for training, 20% of data for the testing. Fine. When we have a balanced data sets and when we have balanced the model, then the model will perform accurately with the percentage of 82 in between the 80 to 90%. Is it clear? Fine. So now from here the job will take over to the data scientist. Then he will do the model building again that you have recommended. You are going to only recommend that model. You are not deploying that model. This is not your work. This is the work of the data scientist. You are only recommending the model. But for the recommending, you have to use the model building. You have to build a model. How much accuracy it is giving, right? Then you have to recommend to the data scientist team. Data science team will take care from here, and he will upload the data and over the cloud, and again he will perform model building like different model. Machine learning, there is like different model, right? Random forest classifier, regression, logistic regression, linear regression, XGBoost, SVM, right? So he will perform like minimum 3 to 5 different model. Why 3 to 5, not 1? Let's suppose you are going to use, exactly, which one is giving you the highest accuracy, we have to use that model. For checking, this is known as the ensemble method. Ensemble method is a technique. We are going to use a different model to choose a particular fixed model for a highest accuracy. Is it clear, Hasina? What we are discussing here, right? Ensemble method is simply meaning like using the different models, and then we have to use the accurate one, which is giving you the accurate result, higher result. Is it clear? And then data scientists will upload that data, model building, deploy over the cloud, and then again he will do the monitoring and making the ETL pipeline automatic scripting to again fetch the dynamic data to the model building and dynamic data, so that model will predict that future price stock accurately in between the 80 to 90% of that accurate result. Okay, this is going to be done, and he will like publish the model, and that model will be served to the end client, which is like XYZ company, right? Your project has been ended, right? Is it clear? This is what exactly end-to-end domain knowledge of like the data analyst, and you can say the data science as well, right? Is it clear? Fine. So mainly we are going to use it here, the Python, the basics of a Python, intermediates of Python, and advanced level of a Python. Then SQL, basic, intermediate, and advanced level of SQL. For reporting and the forecasting, we will use Python as well, and we will use Power BI, the reporting and the dashboarding. Do you guys know what is the Power BI? Data visualization tool. Power BI is a product of a Microsoft. where we can do the reporting and dashboarding. What is the meaning of dashboard? In a single page, in a single screen, right? Yeah, fine. Got it. So whenever we have to show only the analysis to the stakeholder, I'm not talking about the model building and deployment development, right? I'm only talking about whenever you have to show your analysis and trends and patterns to the client or to your manager, we will use the Power BI or Tableau. Power BI or Tableau is a dashboarding tool where you can build up your own dashboard. Again, we have to fix up the data there. We have to call up the data using API key, using API URL, using database corner. We can say directly fix up the data from web scraping as well. We can take the data from CSV file that is already present in your system. We will discuss it further. I will use the Power BI, right? I will give you the deep clear explanation or hands-on explanation like how to fetch the data. Is that clear? Talking about SQL, what is the role of a SQL technology? The SQL databases, not SQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, Oracle databases in data analysis. What exactly key role for a database here? Anyone try? Exactly. First thing, to store the data, right? When we will do the data ingestion, do you know what is the meaning of data ingestion? Calling the data from different sources and storing into the SQL databases, and then querying the data from that SQL databases into the Python environment to use into the further analysis. So SQL majorly used in a data analysis to querying the data from its SQL databases. Let's suppose you are querying some particular data. How fast the data is coming and loading into your environment. So this is known as what? Query optimization. This is a challenge you are getting, and this is known as what? Query optimization. You have to optimize that SQL query so that you can easily or fast you can get that SQL data. This is the kind of a question recruiters generally ask in the interview in a financial modeling, business analyst and data analyst interviews. What are the different SQL optimization techniques that you have faced challenges, and how you have come up with the appropriate solution? No, query optimization is not a technique. Query optimization is a concept. We have to optimize the query so that it takes lower time to get the data from SQL database to other environment. Is it clear? Are you guys getting it? So mainly the three technology we have to cover it, and then we will see the model building as well, the machine learning model building as well. How we can do the model building with end to end using the API, Flask API, and the front end HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Right? Is it clear? So not today. Tomorrow onwards we are going to cover up the Python basic. I think Hasina and Vamsi, you guys already has covered up the basics of Python. So we will see the discussion over there, right? The different things. Panchajanya, right? I will share you one document. I will mention what I am going to cover up in the next session that you have to already prepare it to make this session interactive, right? Only watching the videos, only watching the session is not doing, but you have to prepare. Okay, is there any confusion you guys have what I have given you the knowledge over the domain, the finance domain, the data analytics domain. Hasina? Clear? Vamsi? Clear? Okay. So tomorrow we are going to start the Python onwards. We'll cover up the SQL then we will cover up the Power BI, then we will do some forecasting and reporting, Python in, right? And then we will see the model building using the machine learning, right? Got it? Fine? These things. And we'll do some 2 or 3 projects, and then we will do projects over the API kinds of data, real-time API of data, forecasting and model building. Fine. Okay then. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. Google Classroom. Every document will be shared out to the Google Classroom itself. Okay? Okay then, we'll meet on tomorrow at the same time. And please be available. I'm requesting to everyone, right? Hasina, please. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your time, guys. It was like nice meeting to you, right? Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Bye.
मेल चेक करना बंद करके